Hey guys, this is Illusion PODFIC, and today we're going to be reading Silence This Love, reading for us by Ren222. The summary is, Damian finds himself with a sudden bout of Hanahaki, and is stuck staring down at the Deadly Nightshade petals after a long, violent patrol. His vow of silence quickly turns into a confessional. Alright, without further ado, let's hop right in. Damian stares down at the flowers in his hand, emotions becoming convoluted as he takes a deep, aching breath. He was in the middle of changing after a patrol that led to a fight before he found himself with a cough that turned into a gag that eventually turned into him filling the garbage can with these flowers. Belladonnas. He knows what these flowers are. He knows what they do. Damian knows exactly what's happening, and he knows the flowers themselves are going to kill him before lack of oxygen does. Hanahaki. Fuck, says Damian as he drops the petals into the garbage can. Fucking fuck! Damian, are you okay in there? His dad's voice is filled with worry, especially after that hellish fight they just had. Ivy managed to choke Damian out with her vines, leaving him unconscious for a few minutes before Raven and Catwoman figured out where he was and came to his rescue with his father. I'm fine. Just had a little tickle in my throat, father, replies Damian, his voice hoarse enough to make his nose wrinkle as he raises it for his father to hear. I'll be out for the debrief in a minute. He knows his father. Selena and Raven are waiting for him by the computer. Alright, Selena and I are going to grab dinner from Alfred first. We'll be back down to do a debrief in about 20, calls Bruce with a gentleness that has Damian rolling his eyes because he knows it's only because his father has a crush on the woman. Okay, replies Damian loud before shaking his head and walking over to the sink. He washes his hands harshly, scrubbing until his skin is redder than the heated water would normally make it. Then he cools the water down to splash on his face, taking a few more deep breaths that send an aching pain through his abdomen and up his chest. Damian is going to scream. He knows what this is for, of course he does, and it's going to absolutely piss him off. Silence is what Belladonna stands for. His vow to never share his feelings with Raven has come back to bite him in the ass. He made the vow a few years ago when he first realized it, but it wasn't until recently that he started wondering whether the vow was worth it. It wasn't until recently that he questioned whether Raven would be open to his feelings. Damian quickly reminded himself that Raven would never want him back. But it didn't stop the thought from popping up every now and again, especially with how much time he's been spending with Raven due to Selena being her new mentor. Okay, everything's fine. You're just going to have to look into Hanahaki again, and see about finding a surgeon before these flowers kill you, mutters Damian as he pats his face dry, ruffling the paper towels around his hands to make sure they're dry as well. But then he looks into the mirror and determination seizes him. Or you can give in to these feelings and confess. If she accepts, then you'll be saved. Damian shakes the traitorous thought from his mind. Confessing is off the table. He spins around and heads back to his locker, quickly tugging on his gray sweatpants and a simple green tee. He doesn't bother slipping his socks on as he makes his way out of the locker room because he'll do a proper shower after the debriefing anyway. Hey, are you okay? Asks Raven as soon as Damian steps into the main space of the cave. Her eyes are latched on him, worry-lacing purple orbs as she walks towards him. I'm fine, why? Damian turns the question around on her as he stops moving when she's too close to move any further. She changed too quickly. Raven's wearing a pair of black sweatpants that have demon writing down one leg in purple, and a green sweatshirt that has the phrase, "Flock together always," written in a blocky purple lettering. She's even got on green and purple socks. Their themes. Well, theirs or her and Beast Boy's. You don't seem fine. And your father mentioned an almost floral scent coming from the bathrooms. He also found this. Raven trails off as she holds out her hand to show a thin purple feather. Damian, why was this on the floor of the locker room? Damian stares down at the petal with wide green eyes. He didn't think he'd lost a petal in the sprint to the bathroom. Of course his father just had to give it to Raven to question him about. He knows about the damn vow, and they all learned the flower language because Tim and Jason logged into it years ago, and made all of them learn it with them. Do you even know what it is? Asks Damian softly as he reaches out to take the petal from her. Yes, I do know, which is why I'm not letting you take it from me. Huffs Raven as she curls her fingers around the petal and brings it to her chest. Belladonna, Deadly Nightshade. Now tell me why it was in the locker room. And why your father told me I should ask you about it. Because he's an insufferable know-it-all? Grumbles Damian as he drops his head forward. He takes a deep breath and shoves his hands in his pockets and looks back up at her. Determination drives the words out with ease. I made a vow a while ago that I would keep my feelings under wraps and never share them. And I have Hanahaki because of it. This is the first time I've coughed up petals, so I'm just as surprised as my father probably was when he put the pieces together. Unfortunately for me, he doesn't keep his nose out of his children's business. So here it is. I'm in love with you, that's why I've been coughing up petals. Happy now? Silence drops over them like a shadow, gentle and filled with the tension that makes Damian want to look away, twist around and take off, forget the debriefing and just escape. But he can't do that. So, he stands here, staring into her widened eyes and musters all the patience he has. Damian has to wait. Raven is worth waiting for, even if he's just waiting for her inevitable rejection. She's always going to be worth waiting for. Damian, breathes Raven, her lips curving into an almost sad smile as her eyes soften. Her face twists with the pity that he's hearing, but her eyes aren't filled with pity at all. Habibi, I can't believe you actually thought I couldn't be in love with you too. I can't believe you thought your feelings were one-sided. Damian's jaw drops at her words, her confession. She loves him back? Wait, seriously? Asks Damian in surprise as she steps forward, hands cupping her face gently. He didn't think she would want him back, let alone calling him that. Her love. Damian Wayne, of course I'm in love with you too. Are you kidding me? Raven lets out a chuckle of disbelief in the face of his before she shakes her head and looks at him with a sweet smile curving her lips. I've wanted you almost since we met, which says a lot considering how much of a jerk you started off as. But there was something about you that I just couldn't look away from. I love you too, Habibi. Wow, says Damian as he looks up at her, surprised by the confession, the love. His hands settle on her hips gently, still trying to come to terms with the fact that Raven loves him too. Beloved, I love you too. I can't believe that you... Wow. I don't know what else to say. Well, I guess there is one thing I want to say. Would you like to go on a date with me, Raven? I would love to, Habibi, replies Raven softly, cheeks a light pink before she leans up and brushes her lips gently over his cheek. We can figure out the when, where, and dress code after the debrief, but I would absolutely love to go on a date with you, Damian. He can't speak, words are failing him, so instead, he leans down to brush a kiss to her hair and hugs her close. His father will come back soon with food and Selena, and questions will undoubtedly come, but for now, Damian is content with Raven in his arms because she loves him back. Alright guys, and that is the end of Silence This Love reading for us by Ren222. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next video.